Hi everybody, and welcome to our final installment of building high performance teams and great teamwork. My name is Tim Schneider with Aegis Learning, and our last installment is devoted to answering a couple of your questions that you've posed via email or other formats to me, and that I think sharing them has some real value to everyone. And then I'll also answer a couple of other kind of questions off the cuff as well. Very first question, awesome question. Do different personality types affect how people work on a team? And the answer to that is unequivocally yes. Everybody and every one of their personalities brings different pieces to the table. Now, again, those of you that are familiar with me realize that I use the DISC assessment model, and Aegis is a 20-year partner in using the DISC assessment. And so we look at dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness as the four primary Marston-based personality types, and each one of those brings a little different dynamic that has to be moderated. High D, high dominance values really like to take over team environments. They like to drive it. There has to be an object there. That has to learn to be moderated, and then we as team members have to learn to, in some cases, acquiesce to that role. I's, high influence, loves the team interaction and the team get-together. On that one, that has to be moderated a little bit and refocused to, common objective piece. High steadiness value is a great team member because they're very listening focused and very sincerity focused, but they can also be overlooked because it's not their nature to immediately jump in and contribute. So we need to look very carefully at them. High conscientiousness folks bring a lot of value to the team environment as well. They play that critical role, that what if role. Now, again, I'm going to kind of warn on that one. That can be overdone. Got to look for the right time, the right place, and the right motivations that you're doing that. But boy, that's a valuable role, and we need, in a real high-performing team, we need all of those personality types. Now, that doesn't mean if you're missing one or have too many of another, you should go fire somebody and recruit a S or recruit an I or whatever it is. But a high-performing team capitalizes on all of those personality types, and all of them do a moderation, if you will. Another question I got, and I want to make sure I kind of capture this correctly. That other question, really a good one too. This team has somebody that's just plain and simply a real stinker. They don't want to connect with anybody. They want to come in, do their job, be left alone, not interact, not interface, not anything else. And according to that email, they've tried lots of things to connect them, but they just want to be left alone and isolated. Now, there's a couple of truths here. First of all, truth number one is that person is not being fully intellectually honest, and they're not really connected to the true, authentic self that they are. Humans are wired to be connected. There's no doubt about that. The other side of this is about expectations. And I have seen this, so often in 20 plus years, and it's kind of sad. And every time I hear it, I kind of drop my head a little bit. But you usually hear the word about the same person. They're technically competent. Their core functions of their job they do fine. It's when they have to interact with other humans that they completely fall off the cliff and just they're kind of a train wreck. Well, painfully, we've allowed that. We've said that as long as you accomplish this, as long as you check this box, and as long as you hit this deadline and produce this report and do this, you know what? The rest of it we don't care about because your review and your job description says all of this. When we craft expectations that have equal weight with how you work with others and how you interact in a team, how you're able to help, support, collaborate, provide input, when we add that to the expectation set, then we no longer create that person that wants to be isolated, because they're always going to have the defensible position of saying, you know what, my job description says I got to do this, this, and this. It doesn't say I have to talk to her. It doesn't say I have to interact with him. And you know what, painfully, they're right. So when we do a better job of crafting expectations, and then as leaders laying those expectations out up front, just being very clear, look, I expect you guys to work together. I expect you guys to trust one another, communicate, provide feedback to one another. You do a better job of that, you go a long way in eliminating those kind of folks. Maybe never entirely, but you'll go a long way in eliminating this. Last couple of questions I had were kind of oddball, kind of almost semi-personal. Somebody asked if I had a dog and where my dog is during this process. That's easy. She's right down there. Never gets about farther than 5 feet away, and she's kind of roasting a little bit under these lights, but she doesn't let Dad get too far away. The other question was a little bit of a tougher one. Somebody asked, Tim, what happened with your old company, Soaring Eagle? And that's that story, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to kind of share that with everybody. So I hope everybody enjoyed this multi-part series on high-performing teams and teamwork, and I hope you guys have a terrific week, and I look forward to introducing you to a new series starting next week in Leading Edge. Thank you.